Yeah, the reason why I'm liking this is because Schlumberger is synonymous with the energy world. They basically manufacture a lot of the equipment for fossil fuels, oil well equipment and things like that. And then a company like Halliburton will, um, you know, install the equipment and make it all running and basically create a project to make it, and then they turn it over to the shells, the bps to operate and maintain. So their equipment, I feel like, is there's a steady market for it. And the reason why I say that is if I pull up the price of oil, right? If I come over here and I just basically Google uh, oil price per barrel, and I pull it up, you can see that oil is around $80 to $85 a barrel right now. Um, that's there's these different thresholds. Like below $60, it doesn't even make sense for companies to invest in finding new oil. There's just it's so cheap, you're not going to make any profits, right? Because it costs a lot of money. Um, Around $80, it makes sense. And so since crude has been around $80 for a while now, I think that these sectors that are all about like fracking and doing new drilling for oil, I think that it makes sense at least in the medium term. They're not going to be seeing any sell-off. So Schlumberger has formed this pattern for us that is one that we could definitely profit on if it starts trending up. And we could also profit on it if it trends down. But I think we can also turn it into one of our income trades. And I want to remind folks out there that when we set up these income trades, they're easily adjustable. A lot of times they automatically adjust through the setup of the architecture of the strategy, or it takes one trade to make them adjust. So one slight adjustment that you can do, usually not on a time limit, but you could do it at your leisure, and the position will now be a directional position. So with that said, I got a signal yesterday evening. And people were wondering how I've got my indicator set up. So let me just share with you. I've got it set up in its MACD mode. You can see that right here. And I've got it actually calibrating on VWAP, volume weighted average price, versus closing price. And then these are the traditional fast MACD numbers here. So the fast length is a 6, the slow length is a 19, the MACD length is a 3, and they're all exponential. So if you wanted to recreate what I'm showing right now, that's exactly how I've got it set up. So I got a signal at the end of day yesterday. Today, I'm not getting the follow through signal. So I want to see the follow through signal before I actually do anything on this. But what are some of the transactions once I get my follow through signal? Well, I could consider buying some Schlumberger stock in lots of 100 shares. I could buy a deep in the money, far out in time, and I'm talking about more than 8 months out. So we're talking past May, past June of 2024. Go with an expiration date there and go deep enough in the money that the intrinsic value of this substitute option is almost 90-95% of the overall value. I would use those call options, and that would introduce a little bit of leverage, buy a couple of contracts of that. If you, back here on this signal, if you had decided to short some Schlumberger or buy some back month deep in the money put options, as soon as we get our follow through signal, this would be a perfect opportunity for you to be selling some near term at the money, put premium, and buying some protective calls. I'd buy some protective calls 3 to 6 months out around the $62 strike price. Schlumberger has a lot of liquidity. You can see that they're traded about every $2.50. So if I come back over here, I'd probably be talking about that protective option at 62.50. probably with a expiration date of I like the May 2024 expiration date, 6250 call, currently going at about $3.90 a share or $390 a contract. That would be a perfect protective option. And if we were to be selling our 17 November option, we do it at the money. So we're talking about probably somewhere around $1.28, $1.53, something like that. Somewhere in there, and that's per share. So 128, 150, somewhere between 125, $150 you'd be able to make per contract that you sold. Not bad. Not bad at all. This could be a really nice profitable profiter on you, whether you go from the top side or the bottom side.